What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. So, I hope that it doesn't rain while I'm making this video, because it's been raining aggressively in intervals. So, hopefully, it doesn't rain, because I prefer not to make videos when it's raining. But that being all said and done, let's talk about how your girlfriend, in some instances, will leave you in steps. It's not like, not all women do this, but in some instances, it's not going to be a case of wake up and she says she doesn't want to be with you anymore. You'll notice in some instances, there occurs in steps. And when I start talking about it, some of you might be able to identify experiences where this has happened to you, and I certainly have had some of these. Okay. The first step, is when communication starts to become shorter or less in length. And that could be, when you're texting and long responses. Sometimes life is such where the responses won't be, the responses won't be as long at certain points, but the general pattern is you have a established length of communication, text, phone calls, and it just becomes, you notice. The best way to describe it is you just notice something's a bit off, and the texts are a little bit shorter, the calls are less lengthy, maybe she's no longer available as much for the phone calls, and you just know that something is off. That's the first step. Number two, she's not as available to meet up with you. That's the next step. It's the next step. So normally it's very easy for you to arrange meetups, maybe even a last minute thing, like, oh, by the way, I know it's on the day, but I've got this get together. Like, do you want to come along to that show? Yeah, sure, and she'll just come. Like, maybe even cancelling other plans that she had. But when she's in, thinking about ending it with you, she then isn't as available. Then she'll start to say, well, you might call her last minute and she might, say that she's got something else that's really important, such as work, or, she might not even pick up the phone and the next morning say, oh, she was asleep. And, things that probably wouldn't have happened before. And so that's the next step. She's not as available for the phone calls, she's not as available for meeting up with you. And the next one after that is she's going out a little bit more, without you. She might say, oh, I've got plans to go out with my friends tonight. And on top of that, you might find that, when you're in a relationship, and sometimes you can fall into that trap of being a bit lazy. You can fall into a trap of being a little bit lazy, those lazy couch evenings and, movies and things like that. And you get into a sort of trap of being lazy. And some of it is good. Like, some of it you need that bonding time, but sometimes you can, as a man, get into overdrive a bit with it. And kind of come off your grind, and you'll notice that she's actually, you know, all those, she becomes a little bit more active in the sense that she might start going to the gym, you know, she might start going to the gym, getting in shape, because when you're in that sort of cozy period, you might fall a little bit out of shape. She might fall a little bit out of shape, you know. But then when she's thinking about leaving you, she might start going to the gym more and getting back in shape. Why do you think that is? You know, in some instances. And then, you know, after that, the next step, you know, the next step, because this is the one that some of you might have noticed as well. Next step is that you have like a passionate night, like a real passionate night, where it's like better than the nights that you've had in recent times. You might have been going through a bit more of a dry period, and all of a sudden you have this passionate night, really passionate, and you kind of get, you know, you've been getting anxious, you know that things haven't been the same, and all of a sudden you get this passionate night, and you're all the way in cloud nine, and so when the end comes, you didn't see it coming. And the reason for this is because she's grieving the relationship, you know, she's detaching, she wants to, you know, kind of do it one last time. You know, she's grieving the relationship, she's trying to let go, and sometimes to let go you gotta get something out of your system. And so that's what, you know, in some instances women do now. And let me just say, there are instances where women will not do this. There are some instances, or there are instances where, you know, there are instances where a woman, you know, will do the decent thing and end it with you because she's not feeling you anymore, you know. But then there are also some instances where there will be that gradual process. Neither's evil. Everyone's different. Everyone, you know, goes through things differently. But this is something that I have identified in my past, and other men have spoken about this, experienced this, that in some instances your girlfriend will leave you in steps. And it feels, and the thing is, the harder you try, it's almost like the more it's happening. So this is where self-validation and self-worth comes into play. You can't force someone to be with you. If she wants to be with you, she will be with you. If she does not, then she will not. And you have to accept it either way, and always be working on yourself. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell to get a notification when I make a new video. If you appreciate my work and want to leave a donation, there's a link for that in the description. With that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. For exclusive content, subscribe to me on Patreon. For just $3 per month, you'll gain access to exclusive content for a wide range of topics, such as travel, human psychology, sports, and more. There's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So become part of the community on Patreon today. The link is in the description.